Speaking of quality quarterback play in Minnesota, Case Keenum so far has looked like the guy coming in for Sam Bradford. He's on IR with a bad knee. But then we heard Mike Zimmer say, well, wait a minute. I'm not sure who my starting quarterback is. He has said it is going to be Case Keenum.
He knew.
At least, again, for another week. You look at the numbers, pretty darn good. Everybody's getting all up in arms that he threw 2 interceptions last week against the Redskins. He threw 4 touchdowns in that same game. Now, when you look at it, the team is 7-2. I guess it's not lights out, and that's why we're still talking about Teddy Bridgewater possibly taking the job someday. Zimmer was not interested in going into detail about why he's staying with Case Keenum. This is what he said earlier today at his press conference.
He's starting a quarterback on Sunday.
Case Keenum.
Did his performance on Sunday, was that the deciding factor in sticking with him?
That was part of it.
How were the deliberations in trying to, come to that conclusion right away?
Not difficult.
Is Teddy ready to play in a game?
Yes, otherwise he wouldn't dress.
Well, I think didn't really want to talk about that too much. Now, Keenum was not, he was also asked about looking over his shoulder with Bridgewater now healthy, and Case talked about waiting to see whether or not Teddy might be taking his spot soon.
That's stuff that you guys talk about. I mean, I'm trying to win ball games. I'm doing the best I can, and that's showing up every day and doing my job. That's protecting the football. Obviously, that's learning from my mistakes. That's continue to do things well that I do well. But I think all that stuff, that's just storylines for you guys to talk about. So I don't pay attention to it.
We're going to get into some coach speak a little bit later on in this very show, but there's a lot to break down there with body language, certainly from Mike Zimmer, the head coach. It looks like he just didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And Case all of a sudden is put in this position of defending the job he's done, which has been pretty darn good with Sam Bradford out. Is this just inevitable, though, when you hear and see these things, that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the guy once again in Minnesota?
Well, eventually, but I think the issue will be, when will we see Teddy Bridgewater? Because as long as the Minnesota Vikings, they're winning ball games with Case Keenum at the starting quarterback position, Case Keenum will be under center. But if they fall off, if they have a few mishaps, lose a few ball games, I can easily see Teddy Bridgewater returning to the starting position. Like Zimmer said, Coach Zimmer said, he's healthy. That's why he's dressing. So you know what? We're in the right direction. Right now, the vehicle is rolling, clicking on all cylinders. There's no reason to switch up anything at this moment.